Good morning, everyone. Paul Duncan here with GammaEdge. It is Monday, the 18th of April. Let's get started. Please pause and read this. Pretty important. Starting with the overall indices and the ETFs that comprise the indices, the SPX is showing an increase in net negative gamma on the put side and a decrease on the call side. This is typically a bearish setup. We see more and more protection being added to the downside. You can see we're very, very close to what we call the left goalpost here. And overall, this is a bearish structure with the falling right side and the increasing left side. Over on the SPY, didn't really have a change in downside protection, but we did have a monetization or a drop of the calls that were remaining. For that reason, we're going to go ahead and color everything here red. Taking a look at the Qs and the IWM, pretty much a mixed picture here that we had. We had a drop here on the net negative gamma for the put side, and on the call side, we also had a monetization or a drop. Now remember, Thursday was the monthly expiration as well as a fairly significant amount of gamma rolling off. And so when we see this mixed picture, especially compared to the SPX and the SPY, we have to pause a little bit and allow the markets to reestablish themselves. But for that reason, we're going to go ahead and color things yellow. Very indecisive what we're seeing here. Taking a look at the 0 DTE, the setups are pretty significant. 4350, 4400, net negative gamma expiry. You can see that the red wing, this red line right here, is greater than the green wing or the green line that's here. When we see that in an expiry, we have a lot negative gamma coming off. Same thing over here on the SPY, 435 and 445 are the two goalposts. We're between them right now, as you can see. Looking down here at the Qs, we're to the left of one of the major goalposts here at 340, and any increase in downside addition of puts will most likely push the price down and see gamma go up. Again, looking for some form of possible monetization today, which could actually reverse things. But nevertheless, we can push south here, and we'll just see what happens. And IWM, as you can see, the 195 is the left goalpost here. We're between the two here. Any downside pressure there also will be very, very interesting with the stopping point anticipated here at 195. Again, for this reason, we're going to color things yellow, kind of a mixed picture between the SPY and IWM being between the goalposts, whereas the SPX and the Qs are to the left of the goalposts. So not strong overall to compel us for a reversal, but there are some of the setups here. The market model. Effectively, we ended into a sell-off on Thursday, which was the end of the trading week. We had a failure of that continuation that we were looking for coming off of the fairly strong action that we had on Wednesday. We had a good setup going into Wednesday. Overall, net negative net negative cumulative tick. Models are pointing down. We've got a lot of work to do here to dig out of the hole. We're going to color this red. Taking a look at vol as well as the VIX. Basically, we had an expansion on vol on Wednesday. Thursday was a contraction, still above the midpoint of the Bollinger here. In terms of vol, the morning session here for the VIX actually is quite elevated. We're back up into the 24 range. It'll be very interesting to see what happens with vol. You can see we've been moving sideways with vol. We're really moving sideways with the VIX too. Hard to play this area either to the upside or to the downside. For that reason, we're going to color things yellow. The SPX structure for today, we are effectively trading down below where we have a large grouping of zeros. When we have that, the bias is downward. We are most likely going to open between this yellow dotted line and the red dotted line, which is a transition zone. When we're in that transition zone, expect less dealer interaction and more volatility, more or less lack of directionality in here. For that reason, we're going to color things red. The ES, kind of the same thing. We are down in the overnight session. We're down below the zeros. are dropping relative to where we were Thursday. VIX is elevated, but it is decreasing. When we're below the zeros, typically it's risk off. So play the downside. Again, we're going to color this red. When we take a look at the expiration, almost through into next month, we're seeing net negative expiry. This is really irrelevant over here where you see the green. The biggest expiry so far, the setup for is today. We have lesser expiry in net gamma, negative gamma going into Wednesday and Friday of this week. If this is unchanged, we're not going to see a lot of push-pull. I don't expect it will stay like this. I expect that we're going to see a fairly significant amount of adjustments over the next few days, which are going to change this picture. The end of month, still the net negative expiry here could spell some fireworks, and we'll want to watch for that. Looking at the overall distribution with respect to gamma, we're right here at 43.92. We're going to open down deep in the red here. It's going to be very, very interesting. I've marked where you can see the different strike levels are here, and you can see that 4,300 is a significant line in the sand, as is 4,350, 4,400, and we're below that. And you can see we've actually got some transition points, some zeros that are sitting in here, very, very important for us, because these are typical parking spots that the dealers in the market can hide within. We see that quite often to reduce their overall exposure. Although we finished where we are, and you can see what that meant for the 3 days. To the upside, very unlikely we're going to get up into this area, and you can see we've got this lone wolf up here at 46.10, which is not necessarily material to us, but I want to call it out and just make sure you guys are aware of it. When we take a look at the 0 DTE or here on the left and the combo on the right, a couple things stand out. First of all, net negative gamma, as we just talked about, and you can see that the positive gamma for the SPX complex is way up off screen here, 47.50, so long ways up. You can see that it's going to take a lot of plowing through, a lot of green to get up into that zone. I don't anticipate this any time in the near future. The overall expiry here of minus 158,000 is fairly strong. This is a big deal. We are deep in the net negative gamma territory. You can see deltas are negative across the board. Gammas don't start turning positive until we get above 44.55. And so this is the transition zone shown here by square 5, and you can see down here at 4,300 is a fairly significant level to drop through. Keep an eye on this 43.50, 43.25, and then of course we've got these little bubbly areas in here where we could definitely see some acceleration through there as we start taking these out, going down. Over here on the 0 DTE, just bearishness across the board. The key level here, the 44.15, 44.20, really marks the start of a transition zone, but it's really hard to discern where this is. The structure here, as I indicated on Thursday also, is very unique. We have not seen a back and forth structure like this. It's really broken to the upside is the way I describe it. So today's expiry, very surprising if we get above 44.15, 44.20 into the close. If we do and push north here, the 44.50 is going to be a key thing. Dropping down here, 43.60 is the large expiry for today. You can see this 43.50 here, and then dropping on down, you can see how things roll out. Trajectories to consider for today. We are watching the 0 DTE. Just watch those key levels there. We're watching for the breach of the levels and some acceleration to the downside. In the Discord, go ahead and make liberal use of these down in the AI channel, and keep an eye on the key indices that you're tracking. VIX, no real play there. We're above the midpoint, so there's really no edge to play in the VIX that we can detect right now. The cumulative tick model, we're watching this upside move in the SPX, but we're watching for anything that's not confirmed by the CT. Short the bounces, and that's effectively what I'll be doing today. Lines in the sand, we're watching right here at the SPX, we're watching for parking at the zeros. Setups here, I've got all the key levels and what I just described. I've got them over here on the right-hand side for easy reference also. We're playing the downside, and we're going to wait and see how the settlements go off of Thursday's expiry. So that's it for today. If you liked what you have seen, I urge you to come join us at GammaEdge.us. This will take you to a sign-up page for our Discord. Once you get into the Discord, 14-day free trial, all the tools turned on, and great group there, great active in the voice channel. We're calling a lot out and talking about setups and what we're seeing. Follow us on Twitter at GammaEdges with an S, and of course you're watching this off YouTube. If you like today's content, please push that like button and subscribe to our channel so that we can get boosted up in the search engines. So make it a great day, everyone. Thanks for your time.